Welcome to the deep dive. So, you're trying to break into the bass house scene as a producer, yeah.
hmm
And look, getting your tracks actually heard, it can feel impossible sometimes. Like, where do you even start?
Totally. It's a common frustration. That's why we did this deep dive. We wanted to cut through some of that noise.
Exactly. We're focusing specifically on trying to find out which bass house DJs or maybe their labels are, actually open to getting demos.
We've basically sifted through a whole load of public info, who's popular online, who's selling tracks, label activity, all that stuff.
The goal here is to give you, the producer listening, a bit of a shortcut, save you maybe sending amazing tracks into, like, a black hole.
Yeah, trying to avoid that void. So the big question we're tackling is, based on what we could find, who in the bass house world or their platforms explicitly says, yes, send us your music?
Okay, cool. Before we get into the names, maybe just a quick refresher for anyone who's maybe newer to the sound. Bass house.
Yeah.
What's the general vibe?
Sure, bass house, it's got the driving house energy, but the real signature is the bass line. It's usually really heavy, sometimes pretty aggressive.
Right.
You often hear bits of like UK garage, grime, other bass music influences mixed in. It's definitely built for, impact.
Got it. High energy, heavy bass. So who are the kind of key players we looked into, the names people might recognize?
But we pulled together a list based on, web presence, listener numbers, sales charts,
Yeah.
trying to see who's really influential right now.
And some names kept popping up, I assume.
Oh, yeah. We saw folks like Noctu, Joy RIDE, Abstract, Mala, Wax Motif, Odd Mob, Kirby, Holy Goof. Names like that came up repeatedly.
Okay, yeah, those are definitely big names in the scene. So the first logical step was like, let's check their websites, right? See if there's a big submit demo here button.
Right. And this is probably the first major takeaway. It seems like for most of these really popular artists, their personal websites don't have an obvious, explicit way to send in unsolicited demos.
Interesting. So even though they're huge, their front door isn't necessarily open for that. Can you give an example? Like, what did we find for, say, Noctu or Joyride?
Yeah, so with Noctu, the main site we found seemed more like a business intelligence tool. It wasn't immediately obvious if there was a separate music site handling demos.
Weird.
And Joyride, he has like a band-style site and another download hub. But again, no clear demo section we could spot. It's Abstract site, pretty standard music, tour store, no demo info. Mala, similar thing, tours, vinyl.
Okay, so a bit of a pattern emerging there. What about Wax Motif? He's a really big name, respected producer.
Yeah, Wax Motif. Check his official site music, dates, shop again, no direct submission link there. But this is where it got interesting.
Oh,
We spotted in a YouTube description for one of his videos a link specifically for demo submissions, and it pointed to wavo.me.
Wavo. Okay, so a third-party platform.
Exactly. So not on his main site, but he does seem to have a channel for it, just hosted elsewhere. You'd have to look for that specific link.
Right, so sometimes you got to dig a bit deeper, check those social channels or video descriptions. Good tip. Now, you mentioned labels. There were a couple of artists where the story kind of shifted when we looked at their record labels, didn't it?
Yeah.
AC Slater, for instance. Big figure.
Huge. Yeah, AC Slater comes up a lot, and crucially, he founded Night Bass Records. Very influential label.
Night Bass, okay.
And while his personal DJ site didn't have demo info, the label website, nightbassrecords.com,
Yeah.
that looks like a potential avenue.
Okay, potential. What did you find on the Night Bass site?
Well, there seemed to be like a demo submission form right there on this site. We also found an email address, info@nightbassrecords.com. Now, it wasn't explicitly labeled demos, but it's a contact point.
Right. Could be for general inquiries, could be for demos. A bit ambiguous.
A little ambiguous, yeah. But then we also saw mentions in places like Reddit, artist discussions, talking about sending demos to Night Bass, sometimes even getting feedback. So the signs point towards them being receptive.
Gotcha. And Night Bass has a pretty distinct sound, right? People should probably know that before submitting.
Oh, absolutely. Definitely do your homework.
Yeah.
Night Bass is known for that, high energy, often darker, kind of driving bass house sound. Check their recent releases first. Make sure your track actually fits their vibe.
Good advice. Okay, so Night Bass via AC Slater is a strong possibility. What about Dr. Fresh? He's got his own label too, hasn't he?
He does. Dr. Fresh runs House Call Records, and this one's much more straightforward.
Oh, yeah. How so?
Their website, housecallrex.com, it explicitly says they accept demos, and they give a dedicated email address, housecalldemos@gmail.com.
Nice. Okay, that's crystal clear. No guesswork there.
Exactly. Direct, transparent, really good find for producers.
Fantastic. So let's just quickly recap those key actionable ones for everyone listening. We've got Night Bass Records associated with AC Slater, likely through their website form, maybe the info email.
Hmm.
Then House Call Records, run by Dr. Fresh, with that super clear demo email, housecalldemos@gmail.com. And circling back to Wax Motif, looking for that wavo.me link, probably on his YouTube or other official channels.
Precisely. Those are the main ones that emerged from our research as having explicit or strongly implied avenues for demo submissions right now. Night Bass, House Call, and Wax Motif via Wavo.
So it really feels like the big picture here is maybe don't just spray your demos at every big DJ's personal website contact form.
Yeah, that seems to be less effective, based on what we saw. The more strategic move looks like focusing on the labels associated with these artists.
Why do you think that is? Just more organized?
Probably. Labels often have, actual A&R people or systems in place specifically to handle demos.
Yeah.
An individual artist, especially a busy touring one, might just get overwhelmed. It makes sense they'd funnel it through their label structure.
Makes total sense. Okay, so we've identified these doors, Night Bass, House Call, Wavo for Wax Motif. If someone listening is ready, like they've got the tracks, what's the best advice for actually sending them?
All right, number one, research the label first. Seriously, don't just blast the same track everywhere. Listen to what Night Bass releases. Listen to what House Call releases. Does your track genuinely fit?
Yeah, don't send a deep house track to Night Bass, probably.
Exactly. And once you're sure it's a potential fit, find their specific submission guidelines. Do they want a private SoundCloud link, a direct file, specific info in the email subject? Follow their rules. It shows you're professional.
Good point. What about the track itself, the demo quality?
Crucial. It needs to sound good. Doesn't have to be Grammy level mastered, maybe, but it needs to be well mixed, clean, demonstrate your potential properly. First impressions,
Absolutely. Present it professionally. Clear track titles, links to your socials maybe. Keep the email short, polite, to the point.
Yeah, treat it like a professional inquiry, because it is. Be targeted, make sure it sounds good, and be patient. You probably won't hear back instantly.
Right. And persistence matters too, doesn't it? Like, don't give up after one email.
Definitely. Keep making music. Keep improving. Maybe one track doesn't land, but the next one might. And also remember, this stuff can change. Labels update their policies. So always double check their official sites or socials before you send anything. Keep current.
Okay, great advice. So pulling it all together from this deep dive, forget spamming personal DJ websites. The actionable routes we found for Bass House demos point towards labels like AC Slater's Night Bass Records,
Likely via their website form or maybe the info email.
Dr. Fresh's House Call Records with that clear demo email,
Housecalldemos@gmail.com, yeah.
and keeping an eye out for that wavo.me submission link connected to Wax Motif.
Those are your solid starting points based on our look around. Real opportunities in the bass house scene.
Cool. So, final thought for everyone listening. You now know where some of those doors might actually be open. The question is, what are you going to do to make sure your music doesn't just get to the door, but actually makes them want to open it?
Yeah, and maybe think beyond just these emails and forums, too. How else can you connect genuinely with people in the scene? Something to chew on.
Definitely. Lots to think about there. Thanks for taking this deep dive with us.